Welcome to Canada's Most Immigranted. Today we are tackling the hottest topic that the world is buzzing about, which is Canada's housing crisis. Now you might be wondering, what is the connection between Canada's housing crisis and international students? Well, it turns out that the influx of international students has impacted not only the availability but also the affordability of housing options, not only for international students themselves but local Canadian residents as well. As more and more students arrive each year, it becomes clear that something has to be done to strike a balance. This is why Canada is considering a first ever cap on international students. So, for all my international students coming to Toronto, Ontario, please keep in mind that Toronto is now ranked among the world's top 10 most unaffordable places to live in. That's according to the Demographia International Housing Affordability Index. Rent has become more expensive. For instance, a one-bedroom apartment in Toronto is now 2,500 Canadian dollars, and that's a 25% increase from last year. One cause of the housing shortage is population growth, and population growth has been fueled predominantly by immigration. So the number of spaces or the number of houses being built cannot match the population growth at the moment in Toronto. According to Canada's National Housing Agency, Canada needs to build 5.8 million new homes and 2 million rental units by 2030 to solve the housing problem. So that's in the next 7 years in order to catch up with the population growth. International students have been messaging us non-stop asking for advice on how to navigate this situation. First, we always tell them that they should start their housing research early. The earlier they start, the more options they're going to have. We always recommend that our students try a temporary accommodation like Airbnb or a hotel so that they can understand the city and how its neighborhoods work, as well as the public transit, and then make an informed decision on how far they want to stay from campus or whether they want to commit to a one-year lease. A housing crisis means that international students will face higher rents and prices. So I think it's very important for our international students to stick to a budget, that they should not be pressured by landlords to pay more rents just because they are desperate or they feel they won't have any other option. Do not be afraid to negotiate. You can put your foot down and let a landlord know that his apartment or his house is lacking certain facilities to charge the rents that they are charging. You can also let your campuses know how you are faring in terms of finding accommodation. Because I think, like I mentioned, all universities and colleges have a responsibility to ensure that their students have safe and secure accommodation while studying at their campuses. It's also important to understand how the Ontario tenant laws work. Please do your research. Familiarize yourself with your rights and laws to ensure that you are being treated fairly and legally. Ultimately, I think our international students have to ensure that the accommodation they choose is safe and in a secure neighborhood. You must trust your instincts. Please do not rush into a housing decision if you feel it is unsafe or it's not suitable for you. Universities and colleges have a student office or an international student advisor that should be able to hear your concerns and answer any questions you have about housing in that area. So please don't hesitate to reach out to them.